Bold move by Alabama to put song lyrics that are quickly becoming synonymous with incest on their welcome sign. At least they don't lie about what to expect when crossing their border. If they wanted to spruce this sign up a little bit and give it a little more life than its sterile green and white layout, they could dig up some classic songs about racial prejudice and domestic abuse and throw those lyrics on there. It's pretty goddamn revolutionary that they decided to mention the Alaska Highway is located in Alaska. Now, I'm pretty sure if I decided to drive all the way up to Russia's detached foreskin, I would know that I was taking the Alaska Highway because what the fuck else would I be taking? Would I go all the way down the Hawaii freeway and swing a big U-turn to cut across all that pesky Canadian traffic? Oh, and speaking of Hawaii, good touch with the 49th state declaration over here. You can really tell that island state to go fuck itself by reminding everyone that you were this close to being last, but you're not. And that's all that matters. To be fair, the woodworking is pristine. I can't even lie. Welcome to Arizona. Yes, we know you're only here for the Grand Canyon, we get it. Just go see America's vagina and get the fuck out already. Now, to be fair to Arizona, why else would anyone ever go to Arizona?
Buckle up for safety, everyone. Did you know Arkansas is not only the natural state, but the safest one of all? Be sure to also brush your teeth and get 8 hours of sleep while you're here. We have Prozac and Tylenol in every medicine cabinet across the entire state.
Also, what do they mean by the natural state? Was every other state placed here mechanically? Like a conspiracy? Thanks, but no thanks, Arkansas. I'm not into conspiracy theories. If that is your real name, Arkansas. Yeah, good luck even remembering you saw this sign. This photo is all you're going to have to remember of this sign if you ever go to California. Because good luck not hitting 4 hours of traffic once you get close to the state border. And the chances of you not dying immediately of heat stroke, pollution inhalation, or suffering on your own smug sense of self-satisfaction once you're there for about 10 minutes or so is 0 to none. This sign is a myth because California is never truly welcoming, but instead it's all-encompassing and needs to be stopped. Welcome to colorful Colorado, where we pick the most bland and uninspired sign to represent that claim. The guy making this sign was probably high, which is fine, because anyone who could complain about it being boring is also too high to give a shit. Connecticut buries its real welcome sign inside of a giant template welcome sign, the same way it buries its wealth inequality under its reputation of being a highway rest stop of a state. Maybe you guys could come up with an actual full-fledged sign so people will remember you even exist, and maybe you could try a little harder. 0 out of 10. The small wonder most people will have when visiting Delaware is, I wonder how the hell I got to Delaware. Alright everyone, I've been living in Florida my entire life, so go ahead, laugh it up. I've heard it all. The Sunshine State, more like the Meth State, the Cocaine State, the Hurricane State, the Alligator State, the Sex with Alligators State, the Florida Man State, the Unbearable Humidity State, the Retirement State, the state where you go when you want to die, the Public State, the Bad Driver State, etc., etc., etc. Well, let me tell you something. All of those are objectively correct. You assume Georgia's on my mind, but upon seeing this sign, my thoughts are, what a bold move to put a giant ass on your welcome sign. Hawaii doesn't really have an official state welcome sign because it's an island, so presumably you'd have a pretty good idea of when you got there, unless your plane decides to take a mid-tour detour right into the Pacific Ocean. So here's a sign that appears in Honolulu International Airport, and wow, it's got a map. You know, in case anyone with an aisle seat on the plane ride over wanted to get a glimpse of what they missed out on during landing, and they were too polite to ask their neighbor if they could sit on their lap. So the Welcome to Idaho sign was originally covered with stickers from travelers coming from all over, from all other states. It was a fun, multicultural display of the love of travel and the unity shared amongst all Americans, which of course means the local government had to piss all over it. That fun, historic sign was replaced with a boring, clean copy not that long ago, alongside a official sticker mount thing next to it shaped like the state that officials want people to start putting their stickers on to show off and keep the actual welcome sign clean. If you ask me, this design is incredibly bland and boring, and all that this means is the government just gave all you citizens of Idaho 2 canvases for your shiny new stickers. So get to work. Wow, can you believe that the state of Illinois has a natural river flowing through it that perfectly forms a profile of President Lincoln's face? Wait, it doesn't? Oh. Well, it sounds to me like you fucking cheated, Illinois. I like this sign. It was my favorite so far, but you had to throw it away by cheating. You don't believe me? The land of Lincoln, from the people of Illinois. Lincoln wasn't even born in Illinois. He was from Kentucky, meaning he's a person of Kentucky, even though he practiced law and all sorts of other stuff in Illinois. Better luck next time either way. You're disqualified. Okay, this one's my current favorite. Appealing design, good color contrast, interesting shape. Except, if you had properly separated the in Indiana with the line work here, you could have made a great statement about how the people are now in Indiana. See, like you take the in from Indiana and you color the background a different color and you change the lines up a bit. And it's like, hey, you're in Indiana now. You're in. But you fucked it. You fucked it up so bad. Look at the sloppy line work. You were so close, Indiana. You almost convinced someone that it was worth it to live in Indiana. Really, Iowa? A typo on your welcome sign? Come on, guys. How do you misspell the word corn that badly? For those of you who don't know, ad astra per aspera is Latin for, why the fuck are you making me pull out my phone to Google Translate Latin while I'm going 90 miles an hour on the highway, Kansas? I like the minimalist sunflower, but just because your welcome sign is super busy, it doesn't mean you suddenly will be one day. Yeah, suck my fucking dick, Illinois. Kentucky gets all the bragging rights to Lincoln. I'm not gonna lie, this sign kicks ass. I would probably have chosen Colonel Sanders, a piece of fried chicken, or someone who can only read at a second grade level as the Kentucky mascot instead of a horse. But this sign is fucking great. French. Maine's main attraction is never going to be its welcome sign because it is without a doubt the most dull, uninspired thing I've ever looked at. The way life should be is full of fun and excitement, Maine, not wondering if mayonnaise is going to make your sandwich a little bit too spicy. What in the Sam fucking Hill is this thing? Side note, actual real side note, when I was writing this script and I first saw this sign, I audibly said out loud, what the fuck is that? I hate everything about this sign. Garish colors, a weird pimple style shape, flowers reminiscent of designs you see on your grandmother's throw pillows, a state flag, a state flag that's so fucking ugly, I'd think it was a joke if I didn't Google the fact that it's real. And of course, enjoy your visit being an obvious afterthought of a slogan they hastily slapped together on there because they were getting dizzy from all the projectile vomiting they did after their color design. Oh, worst sign by far. My 6-year-old niece could do a better job than this. Nothing special. Just feels like they stuck to a template more than anything else. State name in the standard roadside font. Welcomes you or welcome to in a fancy font. Some pictures of things from the state. It's just boring. It's like C+ material here. You're only earning the plus because at least you understood the assignment, but you didn't put any effort in whatsoever. Whoa, Big Papa, slow down. Not one, but 2 American flags? Can you handle that power? Great Lakes, great times. Okay, that's a fun, simple slogan. And look, the G blends into the little water design with a great little lighthouse. This is excellent. I think we have a competitor with Kentucky at best so far, but wait. You ruined it. You absolutely ruined it. So close, and you ruined it. That's a 10 out of fucking 10 right there. Absolute masterpiece. I love it. The font has the energy of a sugar binge 90s commercial, and the shape feels like it stepped right out of a bowling alley. This sign should make all others feel like shit. Oh, look. They're holding hands. Either that or they're linking arms to form a human chain to drag themselves out of the highest poverty rate in the country. Or this could be their massive stomachs, since Mississippi leads the United States in obesity. Well, if we pretend that, if we pretend that the S shape is a really, really fat person, then these tiny proportioned heads up here could represent how the state regularly ranks toward the bottom in education and high school graduation rates. I mean, there's so much to this sign that you can infer, like how they're last in healthcare, last in life expectancy, and second to last in economy, only behind Alaska, which is God knows where. There's even an idiom that says, "Thank God for Mississippi," to explain how Mississippi's entire existence revolves around making every other state look good. What are we talking about again? Oh, the sign, right. The sign's nice. It's cute. I like the music. Really, Missouri? You just gonna copy Mississippi's homework like that? The show me state better show me something more original, because I'm not putting up with plagiarism. Good try on putting your state seal in there, which is an indecipherably complex mess that no one on the highway is going to be able to figure out. I also like the pregnancy bump on top to give it a little more of an interesting shape, but you're somehow too bland and too much all at the same time. I really don't have any comments on this one. It's solid. There's good color work. I wish that the 2 was a little bit more visible, but it's simple, eye-catching, pleasant to look at. It's too bad the sign's only going to last about 3 more months before it's destroyed by a wildfire, a blizzard, or a machine gun-toting cultist who's hopped up on a lethal cocktail of drugs. Nebraska, hey, come here. I want to talk to you. Come here, Nebraska, come here. You can't just steal an entire holiday, Nebraska. Arbor Day is for all Americans who don't give a shit about trees regardless of what day it is. Now look, I know that you invented it, and I like your little sci-fi font and your mountain peak and your slogan that implies that living in any other state is shitty. I dig all of that. But you're trying to claim a completely worthless holiday for your own, and that's just greedy, which has bumped you up even higher on the ranking list. Way to go, Nebraska. You're a top 10 sign for sure. So you're the silver state, and you don't even have enough silver to decorate this sign at all? You're just going to go with the bog standard white and blue? That's boring. You couldn't even sell any of that silver to pay a graphic designer for a more interesting design? I mean, fuck me, Nevada. You have Las Vegas. Wow me with something. Don't act like a flight attendant when my plane's landing and politely inform me that my time zone has changed. Ugh, God, this one's even worse. At least silver's something cool to brag about, but when New Hampshire's gonna be up its own ass about granite, of all things, who gives a shit? Welcome to, followed by state name, followed by slogan. It's already played out format, and you're gonna follow it up with a claim that only like 7 geologists are gonna give a shit about? Come on, New Hampshire, you could have been somebody. Look at it. Look how pathetic it is. This was definitely made in New Jersey. It's like the factory making the signs accidentally made it too long at the bottom. So they panicked and they hastily fucking slapped the state seal down there. I get it, New Jersey. You're known for half-assing everything, but at least try to convince us that you're not terrible. Okay. We all had a good laugh. But while making this video, I found out that they recently updated their signs, and here's the new one. But it's still New Jersey, so who gives a shit? Look, I get it. You have Mexico in your name. But do you have to have a sign that looks like the exact one I'd find outside my local Mexican restaurant? I misread this at first glance to say Land of Enchiladas. The difference here is that you have a large budget, and as far as I'm aware, I'm not going to be given a complimentary plate of chips and salsa once I cross state lines. Unless I am, in which case I have a road trip to plan and a 10 out of 10 to hand out. Okay, come on, New York. Are you really gonna let New Jersey beat you? At least they saw their shit pile of a slop job of a sign and said, well, we can't have a sign looking like that, now can we? I guess in typical New Yorker fashion, you decided to do it once, and then instead of improving it at all, you just call anyone an asshole who has a problem with it? I mean, the spacing's better than New Jersey's initial attempt, yeah, but my God, look at this sign. It's just so depressing. I know going into New York that I'm going to hate everyone I could ever meet there. North Carolina, nation's most military-friendly state. What in the fuck does that even mean? Is America not the most military-friendly nation from the fact that we spend more than the next 10 countries combined on military expenses? Are you guys referring to foreign militaries? Because that's pretty bold of you to blatantly ask for a Chinese invasion on your welcome sign. No thanks, North Carolina, you fucking communists. Oh, fuck yeah. I love me some Scandinavian death metal. Pretty sure I saw this band performing at Skarsgårdarfest last year in Stockholm. They were on Just Before Necropolopolis and Winter Mask. Their new album, Legendary, is totally great to listen to while I have my afternoon fika in my sauna, so I can shout on my Sturströmmen and Lutefisk. At first glance, I misread this one as the IHOP logo, which means many of you out there did too. I'm not a fan of subliminal advertising, IHOPO, so 0 out of 10. Why did you have to downgrade Oklahoma? Sure, the star design is attractive enough, but the sign just says the boilerplate, welcome to Oklahoma. What does that tell me except my GPS is functioning correctly? Check out the old sign. Discover the excellence. It does such a great job at helping me discover the excellence of other states that I'm not currently in because for some reason I decided to go to Oklahoma. Diarrhea. You guys narrowly avoided a case of don't dead open inside here. And that's good on you, because I'd hate to read this and think it as pen well Sylvania comes you, because that's just the word on away from describing a most likely nasty man's filthy plan for me. Regardless, here's the new one with the dumbest fucking URL I've ever seen. Why do I need a website about visiting Pennsylvania if I just drove into Pennsylvania? It probably is there to tell me that the best way to pursue my happiness is to avoid turning in any direction, so I don't even have to remember both Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are in the same state. Rhode Island is the only state that gets access to the ocean. We've been over this. That includes the Pacific Ocean on the other coast. So hands off, California, you greedy fucks. The boat's a nice touch. It's a subtle reminder that the only thing to do in Rhode Island is to drive to a coast and set sail on a boat in search of a large enough landmass that's actually suitably inhabitable for humans. I roped South Carolina and South Dakota together because they both ripped off their slogans from 90s self-help VHSs. So let's compare. I'd argue great faces is better than smiling faces, but beautiful places is probably more impactful than great places. I have no idea, but South Dakota has a huge advantage here because of this incredible portrait of Mount Rushmore painted in the same color as the face cream that your mom uses to try to trick men at the bar into thinking she's 10 years younger. The design as a whole is a bit on the nose, seeing as South Dakota by this point is basically a state whose entire purpose is to promote that it has some dead white dudes' heads on the side of a mountain. But hey, it's better than generic welcome to state name shit that South Carolina's doing here. In my book, South Dakota wins this contest, simply because the hyper-realistic slave owner heads are more likely to make me get into a car accident by craning my head to say, ooh, look, as I drove by it. Tennessee, the volunteer state. Oh, I volunteer. I volunteer that you get someone to make you a more interesting sign. The state font's a good start, but oh man, volunteer state looks like it's a Times New Roman ripoff. And following all this up with welcomes you in the default road sign font? Come on. At least you have a nuclear testing flag to remind people that Oak Ridge, Tennessee is where the Manhattan Project was born. Good job nuking Japan and giving us anime, Tennessee, you sick fucks. No, I'm serious. I love anime. Thank you. Welcome to Texas. Drive friendly. The Texas way. Oh, that's a great joke, Texas. I didn't expect Texas, of all the states, to have the funniest joke of all on it, but there it is, clear as day. And I better stop making my own jokes right now before someone driving in Texas stops their car to enact their civil right to shoot me in the back of the head. God damn, that is a lovely sign. That is a lovely fucking sign. Do you see how easy it is, other states? We have the technology to print whatever the hell you want on metal, and you guys stick to, welcome to blah, 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 and some boring fucking state flag shit. This is awesome. There's no way in hell I'd ever be caught dead in Utah, but if I was, I'd immediately blame this sign for putting me there. Top 3 for sure. Well, you certainly set out average expectations, and you met them. Just as expected from Vermont. Those certainly are green mountains for the Green Mountains state. Maybe you should have a second slogan that says, "This is our state welcome sign." And then maybe a third one that says, "We're Vermont." Ugh. I've never wanted a shower after a state welcome sign, and yet here we are. You really had to make the heart the V in lovers when it would look so much better as the O? Either way, you can't walk 5 feet in Virginia without tripping over a Civil War battlefield, but I guess the slogan "Virginia is for people who love dying of sepsis from musket shot" isn't really that catchy. Hey Washington, you and Vermont should get together and jerk each other off over how much you like the color green. Maybe when you're done, you can exchange tips on how to make a sign that doesn't bore the shit out of me. Come on, man. Illinois is tangentially related to Lincoln, and they slap the guy's picture everywhere, and you can't think of anything to do with the name Washington? Except being the most boringest sign that was ever invented ever? West Virginia really got screwed here because I'm so exasperated from seeing generic template signs that I don't even have the time to give a shit about this one. Open for business? Does the state close on the weekends? If I planned a family vacation and I'm going to Wisconsin and you guys tell me that the state is closed and you lowered a giant state-shaped dome over it for the weekend, I'm going to need to speak to your governor, because I also want to ask him how the fuck you get away with advertising 3 generic things you find in every other state. Wyoming. You and I certainly have a storied history. For those of you who are unfamiliar, I made a 7-minute-long video a while back dumping on every facet of Wyoming I could think of because, 1, Wyoming viewers make up the smallest portion of my US audience by a large margin, and 2, let's face it, shitting on Wyoming is funny and deserved. I was on a few Wyoming-based blogs and news journals because people were complaining of how much I ripped them a new asshole and they didn't like it. But let's face it, there was barely anything to rip on in the first place. It's too late for you, Wyoming. You already are a joke in my eyes and probably in the collective consciousness of my audience. But you know what? I could use another good laugh today. So I will give your sign an honest-to-God chance. Go ahead, Wyoming. Show me what you got. Oh my God. It's beautiful.